Hello, everybody. We should also right now be live, and you guys should be able to see us. My name's Saul, or today Dr. Manhattan, as my profile picture changes every single cast. And today, I'm not actually going to be here. I'm just here doing the formalities. You see these four people? They are your team today. And I'm going to pass it along. And to my right is Ridley. Oh no, too big for this cast.
Ah, dang it. I'm never going to be allowed to do anything proper, huh? But yeah, nope. Hello, everyone. My name's Riddles. I will be the main debater for the Warrior of Light today. And hopefully I don't disappoint.
There's someone to the right. It's a table!
Hello, I am the table, and I am mostly just here to vote. I'm a big fan of FF14, so yeah, I'm excited to see my boy how he performs against Destiny.
There's below me is the endless void. Who's this?
Is that me?
Yeah, that's you. I tried to judge off your picture.
Hi.
That's you.
I am Polaris. I am John Destiny himself. I have come to represent the Guardian, and it's going to be a blast.
And there's an R like a pirate. R, but who's that?
I am Rand. I'm here to vote, and I have been playing Destiny on Twitch recently, so this is gonna be fun.
And that?
We do not have the most unbiased of voters, I realize.
Don't worry, it won't tie. Hopefully, I mean, I'm an ethereal voice who can always break the tie. Woo! But we're gonna jump in 2 hours 60 seconds, I believe. Yes, and then I can hide. You guys don't have to hear this beautiful, beautiful Welsh voice. The Warrior of Light. Are you ready for your 60 seconds?
No, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay. Well, I'll say go, and then you go. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go.
So the Warrior of Light is the main, is the player character from the award-winning MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV. They can come in many flavors. Male, female, human. Whatever the heck we call a Lalafell. But the main consistency is that they are chosen by the Goddess of Light Heidelin. And end up performing a lot of ridiculous feats throughout it. God slaying is an average Tuesday for them. They have traveled to the edge of existence, dealt with gods who can mess with time and space. And have at multiple points saved multiple universes worth of stuff. And I think that the Guardian, while it will absolutely be a would-be adversary, will fall under the Warrior of Light's greater power.
You still have 9 seconds.
Oh, play Final Fantasy XIV, everybody. It's amazing.
Beep, beep, beep. I can't do the sound effect and look at the timer at the same time. Good. But yeah, you have to choose one or the other. Do we get the timer on screen or do you get the beep noise? But I make my own beep noises. The Guardian, are you here?
I am present.
I'm going to do the 3, 2, 1 go thing for you as well. 3, 2, 1, and hit it off.
The Guardian. Resurrected super soldiers from the creator god of light. They are immortal warriors who protect the universe from the forces of darkness. The Guardian is the strongest of all Guardians. They have battled so many things I can't even keep track, from space pirates to time-traveling robots to wizards on the moon to, yes, gods. Their title is the God Slayer. It's actually a running joke with the characters in the series that they've killed so many gods that it's basically their job. They've battled basically everything, and while the Warrior of Light shall be powerful, it shall be just another tally on their armor.
You still have 13 seconds.
They have guns, so they're automatically stronger, because guns are the best method of self-defense.
Beep, 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 ding! Now, with that out of the way, I almost hit the stream. Oh no, there we go. I hit the timer, don't worry. With that out of the way, I'm going to disappear out of everybody's hair. You guys will have to lead the rest of the cast if you need me. Shout my name 3 times and I'll appear like Beetlejuice. Let's see if I can do this correctly.
He doesn't pop up on the stream.
Oh.
He just pops up to you where you are IML.
He's gone.
Sol.
Disappeared.
Vanished.
Okay,
Alright.
so you brought up so quick thing for more. Oh, we lost Rand.
Rand died.
He followed Sol.
Saul took him away to the dark dimension.
But yes, so anyway, I will say quick thing before diving in on a more joking note. You bring up guns equal automatic superiority, but what if I told you that the Warrior of Light also specializes in guns in his gunslinger class?
That sounds pretty cool.
Yep.
I wouldn't have a good counter to that. If you have guns too, then they're about even in that category.
Category guns, both of them. Yes. Wonderful.
Category pistol.
Though
The
actually,
Guardian
they
does have, like-
also wouldn't they also have a counter? They have Gunbreaker.
Oh no. The Guardian does have like 500 guns. 500 named guns. There's like thousands of guns in Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sadly, I've never properly been into a gunslinger, but I know that there's plenty of guns, but not that much. You definitely got to watch it.
Um, Sounds good. Equipment.
The ghost disappears.
You want to lead us off, Friddle, since your name is first on the title?
Oh god, I have to tell who decided this. Okay, then. So the Warrior of Light, they have access to, looking through a multitude, 20 plus classes when it goes on. All of them can go through. You got your simple stuff like a warrior, which is being a big angry guy with an axe. You got more esoteric things like the Summoner, which basically lets them absorb the ether of some enemies they've slain and turn them into helpers. Obviously, you got the Gunslinger with the special power of gun. But in general, they are putting archetypes goes on. Magic spells, ability enchanting artifacts.
The best side special, gun.
Yep, a special thing on this is the rather prestige class of the Blue Mage, which is just which is using the abilities of a multitude of enemies that they've beaten throughout their journeys, ranging from Fey gods to talking cactuses.
Oh, talking cactuses, that's new.
Cactuar do be like that. Yep, and of course, cactus temporarily consumables can lead to stat boosts, resurrections, healing stuff on through, and so much more. I'm actually curious though. What does the Guardian's loadout look like?
Well, the fun thing about the Guardian is they actually have access to all of their weapons at any given time. So they're hooked up to the vault, which uses teleportation and hard light to actually switch guns out. It's how they always have 3 guns on them. There's a whole message in one of the games where normal people don't use 3 guns. The Guardian is just abusing teleportation to always have their equipment on them. They've got so many guns. The gods they typically slay, some of those are their guns now. They defeated the God of Death, and the God of Death submitted and said, "Please don't kill me. I'll become your sniper rifle." So they have a living sniper rifle that's the God of Death. They've got guns that shoot non-existence. Rand's gone. Oh.
Poor boy.
The literal concept of death in a gun, which can conceptually kill people. They have a gun that shoots the same worm every single time and it explodes.
I feel bad for the worm.
Don't. The worm has committed genocide.
When you say worm, do you mean like giant worm or like worm as in dragon?
Like a cat-sized worm.
Okay.
Like a little wriggly guy.
Gotcha.
They've got swords, they've got bows, they've got tons of different armor. There's all sorts of crazy stuff, like probability matrices that change probability of battles. They've got a bow and arrow that literally will, if they fire it, it will time travel to hit you before it was fired.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
They've got a gun that shoots black holes, a gun that calls in help from other timelines and opens little portals to shoot at you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, they got a gun that can turn you into a basketball. That's pretty cool.
What the fuck?
Basketball. That's a unique one.
Hey, warrior, I'm balling.
I mean, yeah, there's so many to go over that I can't really just think of any off the top of my head. That I can't just go over all of them.
No,
Yeah,
at least
that
not
makes
without making
sense.
this a 3-hour stream. I get that.
Yeah.
No, God.
I guess the point is they've got so much varied versatility and they can use it at any given time that it's going to be real hard to keep up with that.
Yeah, and to be fair, I could go on through for that, but I could see that on average, the regular person could get easily overwhelmed. But there is an ability that the Warrior of Light has that does help out immensely with that. So I brought up at the beginning about blessed by the Goddess Island, and one of the benefits from that is an ability called the Echo. The Echo does a lot of things, well, about 8 and 14, but the main one this is a type of precognition that lets them more easily see what their enemies plan on doing.
Precognition's pretty cool. Do we know what that's like tied to? Is it tied to time by any chance?
Not necessarily tied into time. I will note that that the Warrior of Light has defeated the local god of time and has notably confused it as well with it.
The local god of time.
Yes, yes, the god of time, Alexander, as that's a being that is noted to be able to look through like all timelines, past, present, and future. Could not accurately figure out what the Warrior of Light could do.
That's pretty cool, actually. So I was going to bring up that the Guardian
that's
is
amazing.
technically disconnected from time, as they are a paracausal being, which is severed from causality. This actually, funny enough, makes them completely unpredictable to beings of logic, like the Vex, which can... Every Vex can sort of easily simulate the future to perfection. They know what shirt you're going to wear the next Tuesday, because they know everything. Guardians don't even register properly in their simulations, because it's just not possible to comprehend. The Guardian also did fight the regional god of time. I'll bring that up too.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm beginning to understand. So that's why these two get compared.
Yeah.
Just beat up your local god of time. It's just no biggie. They're pushovers.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a thing of like in 14 that like half the plot is going on through by like a shadowy organization called the Asians, basically going around and saying, "Hey guys, you want to know what'll help you solve your problems? Summon your gods in the physical world."
I don't feel like that's gonna help.
No, not at all.
It absolutely doesn't. Not in the long term, especially since a lot of them have, when they summon, immediately try to mind control their followers.
Of course.
Yeah.
How skilled is the Warrior of Light?
So the Warrior of Light kind of compounds their skills in two ways. Obviously, there's the natural training on through, and then there's also these job crystals that represent all the major jobs that they go on through with it. And those are typically the use of the basis for how they can switch classes easily along with it. But it's noted a lot of times, though, that by the end of like the major story arcs involving these classes, because basically every class has like at least one major story side quest arc with them, that they are considered masters on through. And if you want to know how long they've been adventuring, that's a wonderfully convoluted thing, because I remember looking up that officially it's like the Warrior of Light is, and it's like his constant redesigns, is that he's treated as if he's been alive since like the launch of the game. So it's like he has his design from like this expansion, and then this is what he looks like a few years later for the time of the next expansion. Although in universe, I'm pretty sure it's only been a couple of years.
Okay.
Technically speaking, it's been, I think, a year, but nobody likes that, so no one acknowledges it.
It's 1 year and all of this stuff happens. The most insane year ever, apparently.
So that's a wild year. In terms of skill and intelligence for the Guardian, things are wild. My favorite skill feat for the Guardian is they have a gun, which can ricochet bullets. And so they can bounce bullets off targets and hit things. It is stated by one of the developers to be pure skill, no superpowers involved, and they can make the bullet ricochet 180 degrees multiple times. That's not possible.
Okay.
You can't
Just
do
about
that.
to bring that up.
I'm now reminded of the typical thing of like, yeah, these comic book characters are just supposed to be about a human on through. Now anyway, let's go watch one of them be in the middle of a house explosion.
You can't do that. The bullets don't bounce like that. They've also battled against Hive. Hive are fun because when the Hive kills something, they get everything. They get their knowledge, their experience, their strength, their speed. They take all that you are, put them in it to themselves. That's how they get stronger. And
So
some of
hive
them,
mind parasites, got it.
they're not hive mind parasites. They're like more like a feudal society, like knights and wizards and stuff. They're just bug people. But some of the knights the Guardian has defeated have been alive for longer than the rock that composes the Earth. So there are billions of years old knights who have killed entire species. And they've killed other people who have killed entire species, and then they've killed other people who've killed other people. And it's just sort of like this escalating level of, yeah, that's the skill of an entire race bottled into one character. And it just got annihilated by the Guardian.
Oh my.
So in terms of skill, it's sort of like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know what to do with that. Intelligence is also a fun one. The Guardian's intelligence it's not really told very much, but it's really good. They are capable of keeping track of their space in the entire universe. Like how fast the Earth is moving, how fast the galaxy is expanding. They can keep track of all of that somehow. They've got multiple supercomputers on them at any given time, and their power is the power of the light. The way their powers work is there's not just like, oh, I want fire, so fire. They have to actively mess with the universe to do like nuclear fission on a molecular level to create the fire that they want or the nuclear energy that they want. So they're constantly doing all this stuff on the fly while fighting elite warriors.
So it's basically one of those types of deals of this is actually just using science to basically make a replication of magic type of deal.
Pretty much, yeah. They do also have magic though.
Huh?
Oh man, you surprised the man so hard he popped out of existence.
Yeah, they learned how to use hive magic a while back.
Yeah, that checks out.
So it's a sci-fi world, but it's also magic world.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi with a dash of magic. Final Fantasy says about a magical world with a dash of sci-fi.
That actually does work out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Science and magic.
So yeah, so you know what? I'm kind of curious because there's some obvious game enders that I kind of want to doze around through. So is the Guardian immune from being forcibly put asleep?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't think so. I don't know if I've ever messed with that.
God, I love RPGs and verses. It's the only way you'll get those useless ass early game spells to somehow be broken.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are sleep spells, poison spells, spells that just cast death. That one I do think I would not be surprised if the Guardian has some immunity to.
The death stuff is fun in Destiny. Within the Ascendant Plane, runes that represent things become that thing itself. And the Guardian has just sort of like smacked aside runes of death before. So just, actual death.
Oof. Just like, yeah, they're just gnats.
That said, they do have a gun which fires. I say it's the concept of death. It's a little bit beyond the concept of death, but I need to give the backstory because it's really funny. So you've got these death singers who sing the song of death. The Guardian says, I want to do that, but I don't know the song. So they ripped out the vocal cords of one of the death singers, strapped it to a megaphone, and said, oh yeah, it's a rocket launcher now.
I wish some of this stuff in Final Fantasy 14 just has this. Like, sadly, the quirkiness for most of them is that some of the best weapons are made by a bunch of weirdos who are probably descended from aliens. And also that after a while, yes, you can just harvest pieces of gods to make weapons. They aren't even high tier anymore, but you can make them weapons.
When the god is dropping common loot.
Man, this is level 50 shit, man. I'm level 100 now. I don't need the primordial fire gods hammer anymore.
I don't need to grind out the god of time anymore. I'm gonna move on to the god of space.
The Deathbringer's fun because it reifies death. It essentially makes your death more real and destroys your immortality. If you can come back from the dead, not anymore. Screw you. Conceptual death is even more real than it was before. It's so potent, it has killed people whose death does not exist. One of the strategies for immortality in Destiny is to take your death and push it somewhere else.
We're just gonna take my death and push it somewhere else.
Yeah, this completely bypasses that, and Rand just died.
Every time he comes back, it's him pushing his death somewhere else again.
I was about to bring up about one of the things of the immortality, that's a bigger things, is the fact that I know that it's like, yeah, anyway, here's a prominent Destiny antagonist who is assumed dead for a good while, and he popped up. So did he just die to normal bullets or death bullets?
Sorry, can you say that again? I didn't catch all that. No, Rand's back.
Yep, stop. Hello again, man. So I know I was bringing up about how I've heard things of a noticeable Destiny antagonist who might be getting another fan cast later on. Apparently popped back after being assumed dead.
Yeah, the Oryx is probably back. Not entirely clear how, which is kind of crazy because his like soul erupted and was destroyed, and he was super dead. Not sure how he came back.
Death doesn't exist.
It's actually Oryx Jr.
Oh yeah, Telesto. People are talking about Telesto in the chat. That's a gun that fires harbingers, which can shatter moons.
About that death beyond death thing, is that like just a guaranteed death, or does that only like work if it kills you?
Well, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone survive it, except
Okay.
for Oryx, who thought it was a nice song. But
So,
he's kind of different.
we gotta ask a thing about, can these guys properly die?
A
That is a good
Guardian
question, actually.
can die if they're just humans, as resilient and impossible as they are. If you stab it in the throat, it's probably going to die. Their ghosts can bring them back, but if you destroy the ghost, they're gone for good.
Okay then, so again, bring up though.
Does that also work? Does that also work for exos?
Yes. Exos can kind of get brought back, but it's... they discussed this with when Cade died. It's like they could theoretically bring Cade back, but he wouldn't be a Guardian anymore, and he wouldn't have any of his Guardian memories, so it basically wouldn't be the same person.
So yeah. Meanwhile, to answer that on the Warrior of Light is that if you can find a way to just kind of cut through on with all the the echo buffs, you can shake them, put them down good. The final battle of Endwalker is basically just them and the rival character throughout like the second half of 14, just basically beating the immortality out of each other. Like,
sorry, continue.
Yeah, so that place was in a special area. So there's a substance called dynamis, and 14. And the best, and to make it simple, is basically an energy that can be fueled. That's fueled by emotions. And so, so in that area with the big battle against the rival, it is like you can be brought up back from the dead. At multiple points. There is a limit to it if you do. It's like you can get knocked down and brought up a couple of times, but there is like a limit of like 7 of them. And once that limit goes off, they are down for the theoretical count, and even after winning the fight, they are basically noted to be at death's door.
Okay. So precognition. I want to bring up something in the Guardian's favor. That being Strand. So Strand is a magical dimension of strings that connects all thoughts and minds. The Guardian can see this and use their third eye to essentially gain battlefield omniscience, where they can fully see like 100 or 360 degrees around them, see things sort of before they happen, and their body will move on its own. So it's basically like Ultra Instinct plus Spider Sense.
Ew.
Yeah, I mentioned this. The Void invisibility. The Guardian can turn invisible with the Void. This invisibility is so good that slightly backing up. There's a thing called a throne world. This is a universe that characters make that is their own, and one of the gods said it's indistinguishable from your own mind. They know everything that happens in their throne world. Every bullet shot, they can know that. A throne world user was unable to figure out where the Guardian is while they were using invisibility. So void invisibility just completely shuts down like full-on omniscience.
Oh.
Fair. I suppose, let's say my curiosity is that Royal Blight has their own type of invisibility, though it does not have anything nearly as potent as a feat as that. How good is the Guardian of themselves at countering invisibility?
They've fought invisible opponents before. They don't have any like true counter to it, I guess, beyond like the third eye, letting them see it coming. But they fought invisible opponents before and not had too much difficulty with them.
Okay. So it's something. So neither of them really have an auto counter to it, by all accounts.
Well,
out of curiosity, how good is, going back a little bit with that super death thing, how good is the Guardian's ability to resist death effects like that?
they could ignore the rune of death, which is like death itself. They've been to places that can kill you instantly for even going there and had no issue. Not doing a good job of remembering things.
Gotcha.
Listen, I get that, man. We had to try to memorize a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of stuff for both these guys.
So
I do remember like the whole with the blue mage is that he can kind of just use like anyone's attacks pretty much.
Yeah, the thing goes on through. One of those spells that I brought up is an ability called Level 5 Death.
Oh,
Most anime sounding attack name ever.
Yeah, nope.
So
And it
that's
is like
the most anime sounding one is in the World Ends With You, where it's level I death or level I flare.
yeah.
Number I flyer.
But yeah, nope. So to read up the flavor text for this one is that it is one of several void sent curses that rely upon the hubris of living creatures fall prey on. Upon reaching certain growth milestones, the spell twists its way to a victim's mind, causing acute distress that the body's organs are forced to shut down. This is just a fancy way of saying that if your level's a multiple of 5, you can be affected by this.
oh.
That's so. I suppose that's a question. Does Destiny have a level system?
Yes, but it's kind of gone at this point. The Guardian doesn't really
Unless you
have a
count
level
light
anymore.
level.
Yeah.
Unless you count light level.
I mean, they would probably be a level multiple of 5 at this point because they usually go by 10s.
Yeah, so
I was also just
Total
wondering if Blue
organ
Mage could just
failure.
like start taking any of the Guardian's attacks.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, repeat
Like
that one.
reverse Unoing on him.
Reverse Uno the same death beam attack.
Yeah. Obviously, with how these things goes on through typically in how it goes in Final Fantasy, those types of spells, yeah. I'd say sometimes it gets nullified being equal level, sometimes higher level, sometimes it's just, hey kid, let's gamble and see how well you can resist it right now. Admittedly, it's been a bit since I've hit by the spell, so I don't remember the exact things, and the wiki ain't helping.
What does the Painter class give the Warrior of Light?
Ah, yes, the Pictomancer.
Yes. I
It's-
wanted to bring this.
Yes, the Pictomancer, one of the two newest classes that is known for its surprisingly high damage.
Paint.
Yeah, isn't it
Known
just
for
like
high
reality warping paint that can just create life?
Yeah, I think it is just like here's this imaginary based things for it all. Now go and attack with them. Yeah, I'd about to say one of the abilities is just doing your portrait to life. Yeah, so it is just paint down, go on through.
Painting's pretty cool. I'll give that.
Looney
Yeah, it
Tunes
is.
ass scenarios that could come from that.
So yeah, one thing I'm kind of curious is that you brought up about getting allies through other time, and it is bad said. So one thing I'm curious is that how many allies can a Guardian on their own just summon at a point with these?
I think it's like one at a time with that portal,
Ah,
and it lasts for a little bit. They can create their own allies, though.
ooh,
Like, one of the things you can make in game is with your powers, you can create a sentient black hole as a pet, and like send that at your enemies.
Aww.
Interesting.
okay.
Create arc souls, which are manifestations of living ill. It's not quite electricity, but it's close enough. Basically, just living. You can create flaming little fireball dudes, threadlings, which are woven from the web of the mind and all that, to create these little caterpillar dudes who just want to kill, and so they will chase you down and attack you.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because I want to see on this thing how it goes with the various summoning creatures that the Warrior of Light can go on through. Since I brought up as the summoner class, they can summon. About to after being them, they can use the energy of like a couple of the gods that they've killed to summon them. So you got the Fire God Ifrit, the Earth God Titan, Wind God Garuda, the iconic Bahamut, the Phoenix, and Solar Bahamut. I don't know what Solar Bahamut is. Solar Bahamut confuses and scares me.
It sounds like a Bahamut, but more.
Pretty much.
Bahamut 2, baby.
Bahamut 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, and then of course there's but the other things like how the Scholar class can let them summon a pixie to help out with healing, or how the Dark Knight ability just lets long story short, release their very depressed anti-heroic split personality to go Bate to also assist them in the middle of a fight. And dang it, Van's gone again.
Yeah. If we're talking about healing, the Guardian can like regenerate their entire health bar in like 2 seconds if they want to.
Yeah, that's also a thing. And the healing classes of with 14, there are a bunch of opponent healing things goes on through. I know that like at least White Mage has a full on here, and then other healing abilities give protective shields and regeneration.
I think Dark
Then-
Knight has some healing too, right?
I think all the tank classes have a little bit of healing because it goes on through. But the main thing with the tanks is their temporary invincibility stuff.
Yeah.
Where it is just like either they take no damage, they reduce their health to 1, but take no damage, or they still take damage, they just won't fall down until they bleed, until this ability ends.
Can
And I-
the
Is
warrior-
Reaper a tank class?
Reaper is a DPS class.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Can the
that one
warrior
lets you
flight-
summon your other edgy OC to fight.
There's some.
Can the warrior of light interact with concepts at all?
This is Matt's thing goes on through. I will defer to off the head. I can't think there's any off the top of it. Bate table if you know, or if there's I know there's at least a couple of Final Fantasy fans in the chat. Correct me if I am wrong. I will accept my humors.
Actual concepts.
Because the guardian can consume an item that will, for like 30 minutes, transform them into a literal concept, like a conceptual being rather than a being of matter.
Okay, and looking at it, apparently they can actually affect concepts.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Nice.
It's like the closest thing is that the final boss. I just remember the joke of how the final boss of Endwalker gets summarized as, we can beat depression in the face, finally.
Yeah.
You can finally beat the depression out of someone.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact concept stuff right now, but I know they've beaten things like earlier we mentioned Alexander who controls time. Near the end of Endwalker, we basically kill God twice. We kill the goddess, and we kill kind of God / kind of Satan.
Get it right. It turns out God was Satan. Satan was God. They're both good. It's just that's it. They just suck at PR, and then we kill depression.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to get into stats at all? Because it seems like this sort of comes down to, whoa, they can do a lot.
Yeah, they can do a lot.
Yeah, we want abilities a lot. Let's go
Yep.
over stats.
Yeah, to be fair, this goes on through. Before we do that, I will bring up the funny thing of collabs that 14 has dealt with. So, sometimes you'll just get into the funny things of, okay, crossover with other Final Fantasies, helped Clive deal with that, teamed up with Noctis, led his teleporting sword ability. That's all good. And then there's that one time where Fall Guys came over.
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, Fall Guys.
Fun fact, Final Fantasy 14 footage was used in the Fall Guys episode.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah. In fact, that's actually part of why I figured the Fall Guys was going to win was just, oh yeah, the Fall Guys at 14 scaling.
Oh God.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because it's just a little bit of fun stuff.
Okay, the Fall Guys, they're squishy little guys. Do you want to lead us into cosmology,
Yes,
or should I?
Oh boy, let's open up that rabbit hole. Okay, so I already brought up Bate, so I'm gonna go with a speed a little Bate real quick, just because that's not the go on through. So I brought up already with Alexander. He is a being that can kind of look through all like infinite timelines and all that. We do fight and beat him. And while originally there is a case of it's ambiguous whether or not Alexander was holding back a bit with stuff like with additional like super boss variations of him that are canon in the weirdest way. At this point, it should be safe to say that we fought a full power Alexander. So that would give us give the Warrior of Light reason enough to shoot infinite speed if needed. Now, as for cosmology, there's kind of two ways where this gets nutty. I am actually going to update. There we are, Rand. That's right, Rand is the cosmology expert for 14. Take it away, but no actuality. The world of Final Fantasy 14 basically So I brought up the Goddess of Light, Heidelin. She had a fight with the God of Darkness, Zodiac. And in the middle of that, they basically they basically hit the Final Fantasy 14 universe so hard that it broke into 14 different versions. There's the main one called the Source, but then there's just 13 offshoots, and they're full-on infinite universes, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, and so in multiple ways. For example, like a good chunk of the plot of 14 is basically a bunch of characters trying to forcibly merge these universes back, and the way they do that is basically pumping one of those 13 universes with enough magic energy to do it. And the plot of the Shadowbringers expansion, the Warrior of Light basically absorbs all the energy that they were planning on using to break one of those universes. And while it initially struggled, they ended up fusing with what amounts to their alternate universe version self of that, and that lets them easily absorb that amount of energy from that point onwards. And then later on, as mentioned, they fought both Heidelin and Zodiac, who made this multiverse in the first place. And they've also dealt with everyone's funny interdimensional traveling Oni guy from Final Fantasy, Gilgamesh, or Greg as we like to call him in this game.
Greg.
Yes.
The mightiest
Greg
of foes.
Gamesh.
Yes, Greg, the strongest character until at minimum, like the end of Stormblood, is a part of the comedy relief detective group side quest. Final Fantasy 14 is a funny game, everybody.
Sounds glorious.
It is funny when it's not also just being very sad.
This is true. So yeah, that's how you get. That's how you get those stat lines.
Okay.
Oh, there's also a musical scene.
The musical scene
Huh?
have something to do with
Yeah, there's a
cosmology?
musical scene. No, musical. They just sing a song.
Oh, that's
I was
pretty
about to say, yes, the musical that lets them get out of plus.
cool. The Guardian is canonically a very good dancer, so you got that.
Well, there
They
is
could
the
sing
dancer.
a song and they could jam out.
There is the dancer in Bard class for the Warrior of Light, so
Yeah.
surely this should be settled on the dance floor, not the battlefield.
Yes. The bestest of battlefields.
Okay, so Destiny stats. Where are we going with this? The Guardian is one of the strongest beings in all of existence right now, and they killed the last strongest being in existence, known as the Witness, which was an invasive concept created to kill God and then end the universe. This is important because the Witness was capable of ending all of reality. In fact, if you lose the boss fight, the screen just goes black because all of reality just ends in that instance. So that really just comes down to how big the cosmology is then, because the Guardian did fight the Witness head on and survived and won the fight twice. Lost once, won twice against the true form. So first off, it defeated the Gardener, which is the true form of the Traveler, and it is an infinite realm of light. The Witness literally fought an infinite universe and won. So through that scaling to the creator of the universe, it should scale to the whole cosmology. Also able to end the entire universe, scales through that. Now, the cosmology is stated on a couple occasions to be infinite dimensional. It's in here somewhere. It is stated by two. So it is an uncountably infinite dimensional reality within Vex space. Vex created this dimension which has uncountably infinite dimensions. It's later stated by another character to have an uncountably infinite Cantor dust, which is the dimensional variant of infinite dimensional sets. And another character later on calls it that it goes on forever, Aleph Infinity, which is infinitely scaling upwards infinities, which gets you to infinite dimensional as well.
Yeah, boy, Rand.
Rand died again. That's so sad. The physical material universe itself is said at one point to, it's not directly said, but it's basically said that it is 10-dimensional. Because there's the original 4 dimensions of space-time, and then stacking on top of that, characters notice that when the Vex are screwing around with things, the 4 dimensions are folded into an extra 6 dimensions for a total of 10. So the base universe itself is 10-dimensional. Vex space gets to infinite dimensional, and then there's the Ascendant Plane with the Throne World, which is said to transcend that completely. And the Witness could end all of it. The Guardian just like killed them, unmade them technically.
With a gun.
Actually, they shot energy through their ghost in a giant laser beam.
Damn.
After entering their mind with a sword and stabbing the people in their head.
Okay.
So, random thing I will, let's say, ask on with that, since it does sound like that in order to deal with the Witness, they had to get a little bit more esoteric instead of a straight up fight.
A little bit, yeah.
Mhm.
They had to do that to kill it because it's an invasive concept. But you do defeat it in the second boss fight, by shooting it in the chest with a shotgun. Actually, a sniper rifle is the main use for that.
Okay, I just about to, it is the mood of just like, okay, here's this sword now anyway, into its mind, I'm doing it, just like, and I'm just like, okay, like, let's say, not gonna say it's all through, but it's like, it's missing
Just
steps.
sword, nah, pulls out gun.
They also beat Oryx. Oryx is fun because he fought against a Vex machine that was designed to understand the Hive. It is their most powerful creation, even stronger than some of the wardens who control the infinite dimensional spaces. And it took one look at Oryx and said, oh shit, I can't kill that. I literally can't even comprehend that existing. Yeah, and Oryx is like pretty weak compared to the things the Guardian defeats now. They can deflect. The gun I mentioned before, it fires arrows back in time to hit you before they were even fired. The Guardian can react to and deflect those, as well as bullets that use a mass driver to accelerate to the point where they break time. And they can react and deflect those as well. So, yeah, the outer
We got
measure.
Oryx.
All I can say is just Jesus Christ at this point.
Yeah, I literally can't say anything else because it's like, wow.
I can go a little bit higher if you want, but that's sort of where I was planning on letting it rest.
You could go a little bit high. You could go a little bit higher. What if I could say that?
I can go a little bit higher than that.
I can go bounds above fiction. As a treat.
I mean, the Guardian is.
The Guardian just beat up their creator once.
They didn't beat up their creator. They saved their creator. The Traveler's cool.
No, like I meant like Bungie itself.
Oh yeah, about that. So there is a couple statements in the game that the Guardian is from a place far more real than the game, in which the characters talk to the main player. So the Guardian is technically an extension of the player within canon. So.
What the fuck?
Okay, but what if the Warrior of Light has their guitar, which is also in real life, so what if they use the above fiction guitar?
We are not doing the more real thing that they did in the LeBron James Swordcast.
So what if they pull out their pizza emoji?
Oh yeah, isn't the pizza from a real restaurant too?
Yeah, I think it's a case where it's supposed to be a brand deal with Uber Eats. And much like Uber Eats, it didn't work.
The Uber Eats scaling.
The Uber Eats scaling. Let's go.
That is quite a... That is you.
Does
Unless if I missed something with Dissidia scaling.
we probably have? The city is crazy.
I mean, yeah, there is about... I will say, though, that I... It's not comment. It's just gonna... The fight just eventually devolves to just the actual people playing 14 and Destiny beating the shit out of each other.
The two players are just like slap boxing.
Nah, okay, how big does the average raid group of a Destiny thing go?
6.
Okay, it's a 6 versus 8.
I feel like it's a 1 versus 8 and we still win. What?
Ow.
The Guardian just summoning their entire cadre of strange elemental children. Jump that guy.
Hey kids, go beat up that guy and I'll get you a free ice cream.
Does the Warrior of Light have resistance to power nullification by any chance?
I think they do.
I was about to say it. I feel like it's been brought up in there, but I cannot for the life.
Because the main thing for me is
does.
I'm thinking of is the what's their name? The Asm Stone, which kind of just lets them do whatever they feel like.
Yeah, the Asm Stone goes on through. It mainly gets used for picking up on allies, but otherwise, I've tried to think on through, and the one thing I'm about to say definitely doing them that I'll admit as an Achilles heel is the fact of body hijacking can work on the Warrior of Light.
Would it though?
I mean that's basically what happened back in Endwalker. The guy just had at one point it's a thing of just body got stolen and then that's it. And then just had to possess some random schmuck and try to get it back.
Someone
I'm just
possessed
gonna
one?
possess Joe from down the street.
Not
Yeah.
nice.
Specifically, it was Xenos who did that.
Yeah, the rival character I bought it before.
Yeah, and
Okay,
didn't they also
so-
like have like a
Damn.
specific thing to help with that?
Probably.
That part I didn't go through. Okay, so looking up on through, Heidelin tried to take back Crystal's power in the fight, and then Batsay broke it.
So
there is-
Hello.
Yep.
I saw.
We are coming. I hope they can hear me on stream because this would be very embarrassing if I did that for nothing. We are coming up to the 1 hour mark. Are we ready?
Yeah, I was about to
begin-
say.
Yeah, I've got the stream open. Don't worry. Are we ready to begin to give
Yeah.
final arguments?
Sure.
Riddle.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Go for it then. Ha.
There he goes. Into the void.
Alright, Riddles, you started us off. You want to end us off?
Yep. Well, since you offered, I wish I would go take that. So while the Guardian, let's say, the Guardian is, let's say, a very, very powerful opponent. I do think that there are, let's say, still on some weaknesses, as noted with the whole sleeping thing. Let's say that there are some things that let's say, chinks in this armor that the Warrior of Light can try and hit at first before the same thing could happen from the Guardian's angle.
I forget. Did we go over the Guardian speed?
I feel like it got brought up with is the fact that the Witness could basically end everything all at once. Is
They can-
basically
Yeah.
Deflect bullets that can go fast enough to break time. Can deflect
but-
arrows that have
Yeah.
shot you before they were even fired.
yeah, they both have arguments for infinity and immeasurable.
Okay.
Yeah. So speed would be relatively the same. But
Okay.
I also slight thought on the sleep. Could the ghost just wake them up? Just like slap them a bunch of times?
Yeah, that's their little
With
assistant character.
what?
Yeah, but I will bring up though that as long as it's like a ghost is not weak enough to just die from a slap.
Nah,
It is
the
a thing of what you.
ghost took a direct hit from the witness when it was trying to kill them. Twice, actually, and survived.
Okay, then now assume that the ghost. Actually, wait a minute. Does sleep work on machines? Question for later, to be honest.
Oh, sorry. I might have just consumed Rend. My bad.
Yeah.
When Rend gets back here, I will be opening the polls. So
Okay.
I
yeah,
would
yeah.
prefer
Closing
you to.
arguments.
I would prefer you guys to like actually get into your closing arguments because the conversation went a little bit off.
It
Rend.
went a little bit off. Well,
Bleh.
about to go back on through. You spat about. Thank you, Saul.
No worries.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you give yours, or do you want to finish?
I mean, I could do my long story short again, since it admittedly wasn't too much, which is, do believe the Guardian's powerful. I do think that the Warrior of Light's set and the Guardian, seemingly not having a fully and previous set of protection on him, does have a couple of Achilles' heels that can be hit, and about to say to deal with the insane power gap.
Mm-hmm.
You can go now.
For the Guardian, I think they're very comparable in pretty much every stat, except for the most important one, that being power. The Guardian just takes power by a landslide, and I think that's where they're going to win. Just punch them really hard.
Just gotta hit him really hard with a bullet.
Or just punch them, you know.
I will.
Yeah.
If that's it, I will open the poll now. Table or Rand, whichever one of you want to give your final judgment.
Table, you first.
Okay. While I do agree that based off of just the stats, it does seem like Guardian has a lot of strength, which should be an issue. That being said, I think there's a lot to be said about ways that the Warrior of Light can get around it. Yeah, the sleep thing and the other stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to be as impartial as I can, but I'm still gonna probably stick with my boy Warrior of Light. I just think that part of this also just he has so much versatility that I think that just he could get around it.
Now it's down to you, right, Rand?
So, I think that the Guardian is very strong, but I think that the Warrior of Light does have the things that he needs to win, just because of, again, versatility. So I'm going with Final Fantasy Guide number 45.
Okay. Well, the votes are still up. I will leave it open for a few minutes because if I don't audibly say the votes are up, some people won't actually know. Yeah, this is a pretty cool matchup, I gotta say.
Yeah. Even though I've been cutting in and out for like a few seconds, but yeah, I got the gist of it.
Yeah.
It is, that's a very neat sound through.
Yeah, someone who hasn't been wasn't as familiar with Destiny, it was very impressive seeing John Destiny like come in and like actually be quite threatening.
I didn't expect
love...
Destiny to get that high.
I do love the fact that it's like, anyway, here's this multiversal strength. Anyway, the Warrior of Light, use the spell that you got at like level 7, buddy. This should help. And it's an actual valid argument.
Yeah.
RPG characters.
And with 67% of the votes, the Guardian actually takes the public poll. Ooh.
Oh.
I mean, that is fair.
Actually, sorry, not 67, 66. YouTube stole the 1%.
And it does.
So
Of course.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is about it. Like, it's very much the fact of the Warrior of Light still needs to kind of ride out a line, especially since by the sound of it, the anti-precog thing does take away their biggest safety net, which is the Echo.
well, it looks like the people watching actually, because the Warrior Light, you two voted for the Warrior Light, didn't you? I didn't hear that wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks
Yeah.
like the public people actually disagree with the cast for once. I don't know many times. I think this might be the first time where, so Polaris, no matter what, you got the public people on your side, but
The people know.
the people know. Well, this is an incredibly
People
debatable
know.
matchup, and you two did well. So thank you for coming on today.
Oh, thank you.
I wouldn't be
Just-
surprised if it was a tie.
I think that both have the ability to put each other down. I do think that, like, this very at the end of the day, I do think that this kind of devolves into stats versus hacks.
Yeah.
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 Like,
Yeah.
I probably
Like, it
did
is-
undersell Guardian hacks for a little bit.
yeah, and I mean, I would not be surprised if there was a couple of less chinks in the armor that goes on through, but I also wouldn't be surprised if I skipped over some blatant BS that the Warrior of Light has, because there's a lot. I think I remember somebody mentioning in the Final Fantasy chat that it's like, oh yeah, due to beavers, the Warrior of Light resists transmutation.
But
Due to beavers.
I hope for the people watching, you guys enjoy today's cast. Like I said, big thank you for these four for turning up today. And a big
Thanks
thank
for
you.
help.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It was very fun being on here for first time.
Ah,
To get
It was
on
fun
other
getting to
movies.
be on here for the first time again.
it is. It's interesting to debate on MU for a character I do have a passion for, even if I felt very out of my depth.
Well,
Yeah.
what's going to be interesting for the people who's watching that might not know, but this is a heavy hitter of a weekend. You're going to have a cast
We
tomorrow and a cast on Monday. Wow, that's so awesome. That's so cool. So make sure you guys tune in.
and then
Yeah, and then I'll get
a
to
few days after that,
Mm.
a late Valentine's Day special
Yes.
is
We will have
Roxas versus Starkiller.
yes. So for those who don't know,
Nice.
Sunday we have the I don't even know these characters that well actually. It's Master Koga, I believe, versus Buggy. So
Master Koga versus Buggy.
tune in for that. I know the people are very excited for that. And then it's didn't they do a death battle cast on this one?
Yeah, they did,
yeah.
but we are doing
Yes.
it again
We're
because
doing again.
they did that cast before the newest Final Fantasy VII game came out.
Ooh, so there's maybe new stuff.
All
And
right.
after Valentine's Day, you will see myself and Jobber debate Starkiller versus Roxas. So thank you all for coming along today. It's been a pleasure having you all. This is goodbye from the people here. Everyone say goodbye.
Bye-bye.